Thokozani family. Yes, I'm in that mood. So here goes another one. Let's talk about spiritual psychosis, right? I know kuzaba nabanye who are going to say to me, "Hey gogo, wena gogo ukhuluma isilungu, why ukhuluma isilungu? Hey nina." I use English, guys, as a medium to speak because remember, we all have different callings, and my calling is actually a universal calling. I am sent to the Black family, the Black nation worldwide. And so, even if you think about our continent, we have how many languages on there? So, I think it's very arrogant for certain groups to demand that I use their language. It's very arrogant, actually. Very, very arrogant. Because you are not the only Abantu on this planet. Let's just get that straight. But what I did want to talk about is something that is called spiritual psychosis. And many people mistake spiritual psychosis and will call it ingulo yedlozi. It's not the same thing. Ingulo yedlozi is not spiritual psychosis. Ingulo yedlozi is when you have certain signs and symptoms within your body because you need to be aligned properly with your ancestors or your guides or the spirits that you work with. That's a totally different thing. Spiritual psychosis is a delusional state of mind where somehow you have told yourself over and over again that you are a certain being or thing to the point where you start believing that delusion. People with spiritual psychosis have this thing that everybody, or it's known most commonly as a God complex. And by God complex, I mean the kind of people who wake up and say, I'm Jesus, the Messiah. I've come to save the world. We see this kind of spiritual psychosis a lot currently in the spiritual space, where there are a lot of people just coming out of nowhere and suddenly bangamakhosi. And uyazibuza ukuthi uthabatha kanjani lo bukhosi? What are the signs that you've been given, other than the signs that are in your own head, that uyinkosi? There are people who are so manipulative to themselves that when they are lying to themselves, they actually end up believing the lie. Have you ever met someone who can speak so convincingly of something that you know this is insanity, to the point that you start questioning your own sanity just by listening to them? You start pinching yourselves. There are a lot of people who are psychologically not okay out there. And they will make grandiose claims with nothing to back it up. So how do you, as a person, discern or figure out what's going on with someone? You just need to look at their life and their actions. You need to look at the things they do and the things you say, because it is by their actions we will know them. It's the same noble cause. How do we know that somebody is said to be the next king? Is we look for a certain umoya that sits on this person, and these people are seen since childhood that this is who they are. The same thing as those who are called to initiate into a certain practice. The signs are seen in childhood. This person doesn't just wake up in adulthood one day and decide or say, oh, by the way, I'm supposed to initiate to be a sangoma. There are certain things and signs in their childhood that when the elders are watching this person, they can see that, okay, these are the signs. I think this person, this is what's going on with them. So those who are spiritually psychotic have no history of such, but they may want something so badly. I always laugh at this and I'm like, people really envy this whole spiritual thing. I find it fascinating. And I've often said, if this was a gift or something that you could give to someone else to say, you want this, take it. I kid you not, I'd be one of the first people to give it away. But because it is a part of me, I can't do that. Why do I say that? Because it's not easy. This is not a game. It is not easy. Most people have no clue what we have to go through on a daily, monthly, weekly basis. Most people have no idea what it is to carry a burden where you are just thrust out into the world and you're told, this is the work you've got to do, go ahead and do it. Many of us have accepted it, and many of us have embraced it, which is the first step to the ease within your own body and your own spirit, when you can finally take a deep breath to say, okay, look, I've given up running, I've given up fighting, I've given up resisting. So for the fact that there are people out there who will work themselves into a psychotic state because they want such a thing. And why would somebody want that? I'll tell you why people want this gift. Power comes with a lot of power, but what they don't realize is with this power comes a lot of responsibility. There are many who are under the illusion that it brings a lot of wealth. And if it does bring a lot of wealth, that wealth also comes with a lot of responsibility. There are some people who want it for prestige, but along with that prestige also comes a lot of responsibility. And prestige, you cannot want this for those things. Those are things that if they do come as a result of you walking a path that you're supposed to walk. So why would you envy something that someone else has? I've always said this, especially for those people who love money and who want to go and tatalento. And I always say, do not envy other people's lives and other people's lifestyles, because you have no idea what they've had to go through in order to acquire the things that look to you like they came so easily. You have no idea whether these people are sleeping at night or whether they've got snaky all up in their business. You don't know whether these people have rules and regulations they have to live by. All you see is the glam and the glitz. So be careful out there. There are a lot of delusional people. There are a lot of people suffering from spiritual psychosis, which is actually designated a mental illness. Abantu bayagula, guys. There are people who are sick out there. So you have, again, this is why whether you're gifted or not gifted, whether you have a calling, not a calling, everybody's gifted, everybody has a calling. I'm not talking about the kind of calling that takes you into initiation school, but as a spirit having a human experience. This is the season for discernment. You're going to have to try to figure out what's what and who's who. And we can't always be there to guide you and give you a heads up so that you move with consciousness. Remember what I've said, consciousness is living in an awakened and aware state. Not that you just go through the world with your eyes closed. The world is not the same anymore. So it is time to wake up, if for nothing else, but for you to kind of stay sane and grounded. A lot of people who are going through a spiritual awakening also exhibit signs of psychosis sometimes, especially if they're not grounded or stabilized. Awakenings are not pretty things. People can lose their minds, and some of them exit and don't really ever come back. Be on the lookout. Masithokozeni.